What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here.
Thanks, Marty.
For coming back for more. Hopefully you've been having a little bit of fun and being patient with yourself. You know, everyone started as a beginner. I remember only knowing one chord for like 3 or 4 years in high school and never following through with it. Of course, there wasn't YouTube and a million resources. You had to actually have your parent drive you somewhere to go take a lesson, most likely. But anyway, what we're going to do in this lesson, first, there's links for the other lessons in this series. I introduced you, there's a video for how to tune your guitar. Then I introduced you to the E minor chord and the A sus2, which are the same shape, moved around, get you playing a little bit of music, right? And then we took that A sus2 and we added a finger and made it A major. And trust me when I say that all these chords we're learning in a very specific order to be able to, you know, just learn a couple more, a few more, to be able to play millions of popular songs. So that's what's fun about this, because you can play songs that you know, maybe you've always dreamed of playing, and they end up being easier than you thought they were, because they're all made up of these same shapes. So when you're learning these chords, you're learning a million songs. You know, 6 or 7 chords is can be a million songs. So just keep that in mind. 5 minutes a day, or even 3.5 minutes a day for 2 months. Stick with it. And in this video, we're going to add another chord to the mix. And all the chords you've learned so far can be played in different combinations. And I remember when I knew 3 chords, I started strumming them in different combinations, going, oh, I just wrote a song, and being so proud of myself. So in this video, we're going to learn what's called the G chord.
Okay.
And just to give you an example, the G chord could be anything from like Paradise City, Knocking on Heaven's Door, same chord. About a Girl, which was something, kind of teasing that in the beginning. 2 chords you already know if you learn this G chord. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So we'll zoom in and we'll learn this G chord. Thanks so much for the support. I appreciate you subscribing to this channel as well. And you can leave a request in the comments below. But anyway, let's get this G chord down now so we can get to playing some of your favorite songs. Here we go. All right, the next chord that we're going to learn is called the G chord. It sounds like this, and it looks like this.
It looks like government body.
When Verizon
Whole
gives you a
body
free phone on
Dio, dude. Whole body Dio. They put Dio on your whole fucking body, dude.
You know, really the quintessential acoustic guitar chord made up, millions of famous songs used the G chord. Everything we've learned so far is in a million songs, but the G is one of those classics. Paradise City, knocking on heaven's door, like I said. So what we want to do though is if we start to analyze it, you can see my index finger is actually in the exact same spot it needs to be for the E minor chord. And these chords often go together. So a good starting point to start to learn the G chord is take our E minor that we've been working on and play that. And then take our middle finger off and reach over. And remember, we're always using the tips of our fingers. We're gonna get our middle finger over the tip of the 3rd fret right here. Middle finger on the 3rd of the low E. And we want to start practicing those, just how we did the E minor and the A chord, or the E minor and the A sus2. Now we're going to do E minor to G. Now there's another finger we need to add, but just to start with, just transition this one middle finger from the 2nd fret of the D over to the 3rd fret of the low E. Just to give you a little taste of where this is going. Now, the other finger we got to add, and this can be tricky at first, is we're going to add the ring finger. There it is in all its glory. We're going to add it to the 3rd fret of the high E right here. So remember that we're playing the G chord, also known as G major, and now we're going to start looking at kind of, since this is a 3-finger chord that's stretched out over the neck, we want to now use a finger as kind of our anchor of the chord, or, you know, the first finger we lay down. Now, eventually, we should be able to just, boom, play the whole chord. But that's something that you transition into. So think of a G chord as your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. That's what I want you to think of as a G chord. And when you do that, it puts your hand into the best position possible to lay that G chord down. So middle finger on the 3rd of the low E, then index is where it still was for E minor, which is 2nd of the A, and then ring finger, we got to stretch it over and hit that ring finger on the 3rd of the high E. When you do that all together, it sounds like this. Now, if you're doing stuff and it's not sounding as clean as what I'm doing, do it anyway, and it has to sound kind of muddy or buzzy or not perfect. It has to sound that way to move past it to make it sound good. It just doesn't go from learning it to sounding perfect, right? And it's that in-between ground where people give up. They want it to sound perfect right away. Oh, I can't do this, right? No. Everyone's G chord sounded a little imperfect at first. The people that still play the guitar are the ones that kept playing it bad until it got a little better and a little better until it was perfect. So there's that G chord. So then what we want to do, now that we have, forget about that A sus2 for a second, and let's just say now we have 3 chords. We have E minor, we have A, and we have G. Well, what I would start to do is play them in different combinations. Don't worry yet too much about the, fancy rhythm, and just start putting them in combinations like, for instance, E minor to G.
I actually know the theory as to why this is a million different songs. So in the key of E, in the key of E, this is supposed to be E minor. The move from E to the A would be what we would call a cadence, because it's moving from the 1 to the 5, the 1 to the 5. And the reason that works is because it's the dominant. The way that it would sound, like, it's a thing of feeling in music, really, but a cadence is whenever you feel that, like, this chord wants to resolve back down to the 1. And the reason why they fun. So yeah, a little music theory lesson.
And then go, okay, well now I'm going to do A to G. And wow, this is totally, none of the fingers are in the same spot, right? So remember what I said, use a locator or an anchor point for the chords. So for G, I said middle finger on the 3rd of the low E. So if I have A major, and I'm like, oh, I got to go to G. How does that go again? Well, I just want you to think middle finger on the 3rd fret right here.
I got options.
Okay. So go from here. To.
And then think about the other pieces that need to go. Remember, be patient, take your time with it.
So he's doing right there. Okay.
And the other thing to point out here that we did earlier is that muscle memory exercise where we take the G chord now instead of one of the other chords we've been working on. We get it right, we make sure it sounds good, and then we keep the shape, we'll freeze spray on there. Try and keep the shape to the best of your ability. I don't expect it to be perfect, right? Oh, the claw. And then I'm going to use that middle finger to kind of track where I need to go, 3rd fret, and then index, and then ring finger. And then I do it again quickly. Put it back, make the corrections, take it off again, put it back on. Okay, now I shake my hand out. And how do I do it now? Okay, what did I do? Oh, middle finger, index, ring. Okay.
Oh! I did it!
Million songs. So let's just recap. E minor. Move it over. You have A sus 2. Put your ring finger down on the 3rd of that B string. Eddie 8 Dynamite Goodbye Eddie. You've got the A major chord. And then we've learned a new chord, G major. Middle finger on the 3rd of the low E right here. Index on the 2nd of the A. Ring on the 3rd of the G. Practice them in all different combinations. Keep the shape. Put it back down. And you're making music.
You really do just have to build calluses is the thing, and that's hard and painful.
right, the G chord, one of my favorite chords of all time. It's also, and a million others. I could go on and on. Hopefully it wasn't too hard for you. A quick reminder, when we're playing these chords, whatever finger of the chord is closest to the top here is kind of what we want to think of as our target finger. So for E minor, we want to think of the index finger on that second fret of the A string, and then the rest fall in. When we're, now that we have this new G chord and we're starting to have to like memorize these chords, we want to think of our middle finger on target, the middle finger on the third fret of the low E, and then let the other fingers get into place. Now, eventually, the whole thing will come down at once, but these are just little baby steps to guitar, baby steps to tuning, baby steps to favorite songs. That was a What About Bob reference. If you haven't seen it, see it. I love it. It's hilarious. So, anyway, be sure to check the links for the videos that led.
Oh, D major. I know that one.
What's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here, and we've been taking a super beginner approach to learning guitar, like your first guitar lessons. And these are the lessons that I wish my first teacher would have taught me instead of Mary Had a Little Lamb, because I would have stuck with it and I would have started playing a bunch of my favorite easy songs right away, right off the beginning, as opposed to... Now, we're going to do... So, in the series, be sure to check the links for the videos that led up to this one, and there's going to be links to your next lesson in this series. So, links are there, but it's not any more difficult than the G chord. It's just different, and it's, like I said, it's like the team captain, of all guitar chords, and it's called D major, as in Tenacious D. And the D major chord is like, it's like that guitar chord that you hear, that if you've never played before, you recognize it, especially with the little tricks you can add to it. Everything I did there was chords that you already have learned, except for this new one, the D. So we're almost to the point where we're going to have enough chords to play millions of songs. I mean, we could probably already play a million songs with what we've learned, but, there's a few more to get, and then you're just, like, soaring. All your favorites. Almost all of them, anyway. So this is the D chord. We're going to zoom in. I'm going to show it to you, and then we'll kind of see how it feels with the other chords we've learned, and we'll do a little bit of strumming. Now, if you're using a pick, which I recommend you do, and you're a super beginner, the lighter pick, a light pick or extra light pick, is going to help you. And as you get a little more progress going, then you can get a little bit thicker pick. So just a little pro tip for you is to start with a nice flimsy little pick and then thicken it as it goes. So anyway, let's zoom in and get this D chord down, and I know you're gonna love it, and it's awesome. So anyway, here we go. All right, so we're gonna learn this D chord now, which, like I was saying, is...
Lowe's knows when you need a new appliance, you need it fast. So we offer next day delivery on hundreds of appliances.
The most popular guitar chord. So let's get to it. Our locator point, or our anchor for this chord is going to be our index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. So check it out. Index finger, 2nd fret of the G string right there. That's what we're going to use to lock this chord down. So for E minor, it would be that. For G, it would be that. For A, it would be that. Now for D, it's that. So then, middle finger is going to go to the 2nd fret of the high E. So these two fingers are separated by a string. Ring finger, almost like a fork, in between these two fingers. The ring finger is going to go to the 3rd fret of the B string right there. And this is the D string, Eddie 8 Dynamite. That's the D string, so that's actually what's called the root of the D chord. So that's, if we can avoid these two when we strum the D, that's better. It's okay in the beginning to just kind of strum the whole thing, to just get going and playing, but really, the real chord would be. So, like before, we want to keep the shape. Spray that down with the freeze spray. Try and keep the shape, and look at the index finger where the anchor point is right there, and get the chord down. Always strum it too. Okay, got it. I'm gonna do it again. Put that sucker down there. Off, back on. Then just shake it out, shake it off. And then use that anchor point again. Boom, boom, boom.
I got big old meaty claws. This shit makes it hard.
At a billion songs. Right now we're at 1 million. We could play 1 million songs, but once we get the next 2 chords, then we're at 1 billion. So check it out. What I did right off the bat as a practice was the D, then the A, and remember, be patient with yourself. I've been playing for 23 years or something. I've been playing so long now that I don't want to know how long. And then that middle finger. Remember, those target points are really going to help with the changing. So I did A, then I did a G.
Why does that not sound like A? Ah! Hold on. E. E. A sus2. A major. There we go. Ah! My hand. My poor hands. Oh my god, I can play fucking Wonderwall. I'm so cool. Today is gonna be the day that we bring it all back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Oh my god. I fucking did it. Whew. Da, da, da. You met a Suzuki, a guy gave the highs and Nakuta shikita sura wakata masu yorin-san kanashira wa yamete yoないよWait, hold on. C is one. Not explicit. 夢の続きをかけていたはずなのに何気打てた細い道に続くあの子みたいSegunda I got it. No. I love that B7. Whew. Whew. Fingies.
Fancy stuff, right? But just to show you the idea of the D chord, like Sweet Home Alabama, Wanted Dead or Alive. You know, I mean, a million others, really, but they.
I gotta move my pick. Hold on. Woo guitar. Yes, woo guitar. Hi Mel, hi Rian. That's the way I do about you now. I figured out how to play Wonderwall. I think I can stop learning the guitar now. I'm kidding, of course. That will be all the practicing I will do for today, though, because my fingers hurt. And because I think my roommates will get sick of it if I continue. If they're not already.